Good morning. My name is Theo Shaban Leff. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a 10-year-old, can be disruptive boy, with brown hair and brown eyes, and I'm wearing a navy blue zip-up coat.
And good morning. My name is Melissa Shepline. I almost said Melissa Shepline Leff. Melissa Shepline, and I am. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a middle-aged woman whose son thinks she is very, very, very old.
And we are happy to serve as the worship associates this morning to call us to worship with these words. With our searching souls and our broken hearts, let us seek refuge and renewal in this time and place. Let the noises of our world fall silent in this hour, and let the stillness find us and carve out space for us to hear more clearly the call of grace and love. Let us nurture gratitude together in community. Not to deny our griefs or the world's suffering, but to be more fully appreciate the ordinary miracles the universe offers in abundance, the brilliant colors of autumn, the dependability of sunrise, the gift that is each and every one of us. Come, let us worship.
The flaming chalice has been one symbol of Unitarian Universalism for many decades, a symbol of hope, of reason, of the spark of the divine that shines in all of us. This morning, the chalice will be lit by Milo and Frankie Ciafone Gilbert. We join our siblings in faith each Sunday by lighting our chalice here in our sanctuary. For those joining us online, we invite you to light a flame wherever you are, as we kindle our flame with these words from poet William Stafford. It could happen any time: tornado, earthquake, Armageddon. It could happen. Or sunshine, love, salvation. It could, you know. That's why we wake and look out. No guarantees in this life, but some bonuses, like morning, like right now. May this light we now kindle awaken us to the blessings of this day, this morning, this moment of now we share together.
And now rise and body your spirit for our opening song in the Gray Hymnal 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. We are a people of many different ages, histories, genders, bodies, identities, and beliefs. And we are united in our commitment to our mission to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. My name is Reverend Beth Monholland. My pronouns are she, hers. I am a short, middle-aged white woman with dark curly hair wearing a bright blue jacket and beautiful pointillism stole that makes trees, and I have the deep joy of serving as the lead minister to this congregation. I'm so happy to welcome you here this morning, both those joining us here in the sanctuary, those joining us online, and I trust that whatever your heart and spirit need today, they will be met in this hour. If you're a visitor this morning, I bid you a special welcome. We're so glad you chose to share some time with us. If you'd like to learn more about our congregation and stay connected, receive our weekly e-news, please fill out a welcome card. You can drop that in the offering later in the service or hand it to one of our greeters, our hospitality team. You'll see them about. Honestly, hand it to me if you want. We'll make sure you get connected. I also invite you to look around and notice if your neighbors are wearing a color-coded lanyard. We live in endemic times, and some folks are more comfortable just keeping their distance. So if you see someone wearing a yellow or red lanyard, just know that you might just want to wave and smile and not hug them. And if you are going to hug somebody, always ask first. It's how we practice consent and keep each other safe together in community. I mentioned that we are a congregation of all ages, and that means we welcome the potential noises and distractions. Theo, is that what you said? You're sometimes disruptive or distracting? A little No, I'm saying you said that. We welcome the potential distractions that kids bring to a service. And no matter your age, you are welcome, though, if you need to keep your hands busy in order to focus, to grab a coloring packet just in the entryway. And folks are always welcome for any reason. If you need to stretch your legs, you want a little more breathing room, or just to attend to your body, to join the live stream of the service across the hall in the fellowship hall. Kids are welcome to stay here for the entirety of the service, but we do have faith development classes today. So after the time for all ages, which is noted in the order of service, our kids and faith development volunteers will go to their classrooms for their time together. And our nursery is available, as always, for little ones 4 and under. And now that I've greeted you, given you a little bit of the lay of the land, I want to invite you to greet each other. I'll ring our chime, and you will have a moment to turn to a neighbor, say good morning, tell them your name, let them know your feelings about the snow that was flurrying about, and I'll ring the chime to bring us back together. Thank you, everyone, for those lively greetings. Everyone is invited to keep those conversations going after the service in our fellowship hour, where, let me tell you, once again, Team F has brought their A game. There will be lots of delicious snacks and treats for you at fellowship hour, so I invite you to greet each other, find somebody new to you today, and enjoy the plentiful, abundant gifts that our congregation is providing to each other. And speaking of abundant gifts, that is the name of today's service. The month of November, our theme is nurturing gratitude. Being grateful is often a theme of November in the United States. It's when our holiday of Thanksgiving falls. And so we often, this time of year, are urged to turn our attention to gratitude, to thankfulness, to practices that help us to notice the abundance around us. And so we will do that here together. We join not only people of many different faiths and cultures and traditions across the globe, thinking in the harvest season about abundance and the gifts that we offer, but we also join very specifically our siblings in Unitarian Universalism, for whom generosity is one of our core values. And generosity, as we define it in one way as Unitarian Universalists, means that we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. So in cultivating a spirit of gratitude this month, I want to invite us to think about all that we do indeed have to be grateful for. And I also want to acknowledge that that can be challenging even in the best of times, which for most of us, these are not. We live in fraught political and social climate. We live under the rising threat of authoritarianism. We live with the very real knowledge that people here in this room, joining us online, our neighbors and our loved ones, are going to be struggling just to meet their basic needs of food in the coming days and weeks. And so for me to stand here and say, count your blessings, can seem a bit disingenuous, if not downright cruel. And yet, as Elise Myers, who is an autistic content creator I follow, recently said, you do not have to be happy to be grateful. Sadness and gratitude can be held in the same hand. And so I want us to practice in our hands together, holding sadness, fear, anger, despair, and yes, joy and happiness right alongside our gratitude for what we do have. So we're going to practice it together this morning. If you have an order of service, you'll notice on the inner page is a nice big blank page that says things you are grateful for. If you're joining us online and you don't have that, that's all right. Grab a pencil where you are, grab a crayon, a blank piece of paper, or just count in your own heart. I want to give us a minute to think about right now, this moment, this day. I don't know, I'll challenge you. Can you write 3 things right now, today, that you are grateful for? We can make it a competition. Mabel is already in the spirit and wants to know if she can do 4. Yes, 3. We're just going to challenge everybody to do 3. But if Mabel, I don't know, you could do 13. Or 25. I don't know, I'm only going to give you like 1 minute. 6, oh Lord. Okay, for all the kids and parents of kids in the room, Mabel said we could maybe do 6, 7. So if you want to do 67, Owen is like, no, I'm going to ring our bowl, and I want us to do what we can to think about what are you grateful for in this moment. Oh, I left my pencil. Thank you. You can also draw a picture. If you're grateful for the snow today, you could draw a picture of a snowflake, is all I'm saying. Do you have 67 yet, Mabel? All right, I'm gonna give you just another few seconds to finish up what you're writing. 6 or 7 seconds. Oh, you kids. All right, I did write down 7 things. Who wants to share one of the things on your list? Mabel, what is something you want to share with us that you're grateful for today? Mabel wants to share that she's grateful today for her family, her church. I can't hear that last one. And 6-7. All right. I cannot argue with the 10-year-old being grateful for family, church, and 6-7. Theo. Family, church, your pets, and your life. I'm grateful for your life, Theo. Anybody on this side of the room want to share? Always by invitation, but Margaret, yes.
A loving wife with whom I can argue and make up in the same conversation.
Margaret, for those online, Margaret is thankful for a loving wife whom you, a loving wife with whom she can argue and make up with in the same conversation. Amen to that one. Dave.
A new cat in our lives.
Okay, the Sharps are grateful for a new cat in their life. I'm grateful for the pictures I will get to see of that new cat. Milo, do I see your hand up back there? Milo is grateful for his grandparents visiting. That is a good thing to be grateful for. Jerry? And Jerry is grateful for Juan playing the organ today. Oh, well, I'm grateful. Okay, no, one more, but I can't see who that is. Pass it forward, I can't quite hear. Double 6, 7, friends. You all are the best. I'm grateful for young people who are continually reinventing language. I mean that sincerely, who are continually inviting all of us into creatively thinking about how we engage with the world, and helping us, whether they mean to or not, to remember that being silly, that having things to laugh about, is very, very important. And Owen will take one more.
I really love the fact that the amount of signs saying maybe blast ice out of this universe are doubling over each other.
All right. Here's what Owen just shared that he is grateful for, that he has been noticing that the number of signs protesting against ice, blasting them out of the universe, he has been noticing that there's more and more of them. They feel to him like they've been doubling in their energy to get ice out. All right, Owen, that feels like a good thing to end on. Here's what I hear in our gratitudes. We're grateful for very small things like a cat, which is not a small thing, let's be real. For our pets, for our families, for our connections, for joy, for justice seeking in the world. And I don't know about you, but just naming some of those gratitudes, hearing some of what you are grateful for, makes me feel I can't stop smiling. Like my jaw, if I tried to stop smiling right now, it would be physically impossible for me to do so. It makes me feel alive. Yes, Mabel, thank you. More alive and connected. And that is what regular practices of gratitude can do for all of us. And particularly, while you can certainly practice gratitude alone, practicing gratitude in community doubles that joy. It helps us bear the burdens of the knowledge that ICE is stealing people. It makes it easier to bear. And so I want you, in whatever burdens you are carrying and fears you are holding, to remember that you can hold gratitude at the same time. So hold on to whatever you wrote today, and I hope you continue this month in whatever ways you can to count your blessings, but we will continue to collectively do this here. In fellowship hour throughout the month of November, outside the Faith Development Office, they've dedicated their bulletin board to be a gratitude board. One of our student volunteers made a tree, and there are little leaves there that you can write each time you pass it what you're grateful for and fill up our tree with leaves of gratitude. On the other side of Fellowship Hall is a table that is filled with cards. Some of them are blank, some say thank you, and I invite you to grab a card or 2 or 3. Each time you're at church, write a note to someone. Write a note to yourself. Write a note to someone here. Write a note to someone who is gone. But if you could deliver that note to someone, then I invite you to do so. We'll have that up again throughout the month so that we can practice collectively naming what we are grateful for and holding those gratitudes together. So that's your challenge, each and every one of us. And young people, now that I am grateful for you, but you can be grateful that I'm going to release you now to your faith development classes. Our volunteers and kids and youth are free to go. The rest of us will stay here and keep counting our blessings together. Holding our sadness and our gratitude in the same hand is one way of thinking about the ways in which we practice our spiritual generosity of joys and sorrows each week. We know that we carry all of who we are in our bodies. We bring them into all the spaces in which we move. And we together as a community honor that wholeness by engaging in practices that allow us to lift up our sorrows, lift up our joys, and lay down our sorrows. This morning, I'll invite you to come forward either to the altar table here in the front or the center back, and in the bowls of water, place a stone for your sorrows and a petal for your joys while we sing our blessing song, May the Long Time Sun. If you have a joy or sorrow you'd like to be shared aloud later in the service, you can fill out a joy and sorrow card. They're in your pew racks, or the ushers have them. You can also email, particularly those joining us online, to joysandsorrows@uucuc.org. In this way, we hold each other, we carry each other, and we love each other. I invite us to sing.
We live our mission at this congregation by connecting day to day and week to week through the opportunities both within and beyond our walls. We invite you to subscribe to and read our weekly e-news to stay up to date on all activities offered through our Faith Development Program and our congregational life and social action councils. This morning, I want to highlight a few things. Our Inquirers series meets today for those interested and learning more about how to get connected to the life of the church through technology. Meet in the Willow Room downstairs around 11:45 for this interactive session. Today is the deadline to submit a nomination for next year's Shared Offering Program. And next Sunday during Fellowship Hour, we will have a potluck and vote on next year's Shared Offering recipients. We welcome everyone's input into this important ministry of our church. After you vote in the Shared Offering on the 16th, join our Social Action Council as we partner with the UUA's Side with Love and the UU Advocacy Network of Illinois. This is a statewide day of action to demand an end to AT&T's compliance with ICE. The demonstration is being organized across the state, and we will gather from 1:30 to 2:30 outside of AT&T stores here in Champaign-Urbana. Please register today in the link that was emailed on Friday in order to hear more instructions. As one part of our response to food injustice, Faith Development is sponsoring a hands-on, multi-generational event after service in the Blue Stem Room on November 23rd. The event will focus on collecting food and assembling meal kits to donate to CU Mutual Aid and others in need. Our big goal is to create 100 meal kits. Read more details about these and other events in our e-news and check out the full calendar of events in Realm. Each Sunday, in recognition of our very real interdependence and reliance on each other, we pass the plate and share our offering with an organization doing the work of justice in the world. Our shared offering partner for November is Advocates for Trans Equality, which fights for the legal and political rights of transgender people in America. Advocates for Trans Equality was founded in 2024 as the National Center for Transgender Equality and Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund, two longtime champions for the trans community, merged together as one organization. They build on their successes to boldly imagine a world where trans people live joyfully and without barriers. In a time of increased extremism against trans people and our allies, protecting and expanding our freedom to be who we are has never been more important. You can give through Realm and via the online portal on our website, or if you're here in the sanctuary, the basket will be passed and checks can be made out to UUCUC, and in the memo put shared offering. Half of all non-pledge donations will go towards sustaining the work of this church, and the other half will go directly to our shared offering partner. The ushers will come forward as our offertory music begins, and we invite you to give whatever is generous for you. This is also the time to submit a written joy or sorrow.
When I was a boy each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. But I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath, like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world out there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with the reverent air. Everything is holy now.
Well, thank you to Pugs, who I'm sure is watching online. That was beautiful. And everything is holy now, including the joys and sorrows we can share in community. If you have, thank you, Aaron, a joy or sorrow you'd like shared aloud, you could still bring that to me or email it. Making time for this, as I always say, is spiritual generosity, and I am grateful for you for it. This is from Renee Hart. Sorrow at the passing of my Uncle Jerry yesterday. The joy that our mother's surgeries are happening this week. Please send light for their recoveries. From Aaron Slayton. Proud and grateful to be here at UUCUC. Fellowship is a true gift, and so is everything we each do to make our church what it is. Amen. From Katie Madigan, I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to be the mother to Madeline, who I am so proud of today and every day. And I am sad, though, to see the end to her high school swim career, as I love to be a sports parent. Amen. What will you do with all that time? Oh my goodness. This is from Kevin Dorset. Joy, an old friend, has recently come back into my life. Has helped me climb out of my depression over the sorrow of my wife's passing. And this is from MR, who shares a sorrow that around 4 a.m. yesterday morning, their 4-year-old black lab Jack had a seizure, and they spent several hours at the U of I Vet Med. What a privilege to have an emergency vet in our area, they write. We are currently watching and waiting at home, hoping for the rare one-off seizure event, but trying to prepare for the possibility of caring for an epileptic doggo. Send all the best to our furry friend, and know that he's being spoiled with head scratches and belly rubs while we figure out what is going on. It's so hard. A joy from Margaret Lovell. It is a joy to have Christy and Jenny with us this morning after Jenny's knee surgery. Welcome home to you both. I know you've been with us online. It is so nice to have you in body. For me and Bear, I am joyful about and grateful for you and YouTube. Thank you, Ian. We're glad you're here virtually. A joy from Terry Frederick. For the adult volunteers who took the teens in the coming of age class on a 24-hour retreat to Camp Kiwanis this weekend. What a joy to see the teens and their leaders lingering in the parking lot, even though it was drizzling because they weren't yet ready to separate. Amen. Thank you to Kelly Skinner, our Director of Faith Development, to Ben Leff, to Julia Cronin, to AJ and Steve Herzog, and all the parents of all those kids who made that possible. It was a joy to see them off on Friday night. And Ben assured me things were great and everyone survived. Bodies intact, spirits buoyed. A joy from Willa Hartman. Thankful that the infection has been removed from my finger and is healing well. And I want to thank each of you for all your good thoughts for me in my time of need. That's all I'm seeing today. And yet we know that each of us, for all that we've spoken aloud, have even more that we are carrying in our hearts. So I want us to take a moment of silence for all that we have shared aloud, for all that we're still holding. I'll ring our singing bowl, and after a minute, I'll invite us in a spirit of gratitude to sing hymn number 16 in our gray hymnal, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." As Juan gets ready, I'll invite you to rise and body your spirit and turn to our song. It's an easy one. The lyrics are here. In 1847, across the globe, a potato blight struck potato crops and tomato crops, to be fair, across the world. Literally from Mexico through the US and Canada, all over Europe, potato crops failed. But there was only one place where that crop failure led to widespread devastation, and where within a few years millions had died. And perhaps you are familiar with that place. It is called Ireland. The response of the British government, who were in charge of Ireland at the time — Ireland was a colony of the empire — led to what later became known as a famine, but what historians say was not in truth a famine, because in actuality, while the potato crops failed due to that bacterial organism, in the same years, 1847 through 1852, which was the height of the Great Hunger, thousands and thousands of pounds of food were exported from Irish farms to enrich the empire. And so the failure was, yes, of relying on a single crop that people needed to meet their nutritional needs, but they had come to rely on that crop because of policy and greed. They had no other choices. While people were starving, the British government did take some measures to try to address the issue. Those measures were mostly ineffective. They did raise money. Actually, globally, people gave money when the devastation in Ireland became widely known. By late 1847 and early 1848, countries as far away as the Ottoman Empire, the actual Sultan, gave from his personal money over £1,000. In 1847 dollars, you all, that is an astronomical amount today. Queen Victoria gave $2,000 of her money. School children, government said, we need to do something. And you might know this story, some of you. The one that strikes me the most was a gift that came from a very unexpected source. $170, which in today's terms would be over $5,000, was raised by the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma. The Choctaws had themselves barely recovered from the devastation of being forcibly removed from their homeland along with the Cherokee and relocated by force on the Trail of Tears, where thousands and thousands of them had also died from disease and starvation. They were 16 years into their resettlement in Oklahoma, and the Choctaw people said, we can't let others die like we did. And that struggling nation, the Choctaw Nation, that in 1847 had very little rights. It wasn't for another 100 years before they would even be allowed to be considered U.S. citizens, raised $170 and sent it. It made its way to County Cork, to a town there, for relief efforts. And you might not be wondering why I'm thinking of famine and hunger that is manufactured and forced upon poor people. It's an old story, it's a familiar story, it's a now story. Just as in this moment in our country, we are, I don't know, engaging in an asinine, immoral debate about whether or not we should feed people. How do we know who will deserve food? They're alive. That's how we know they deserve food. It's an old debate that comes out of scarcity mentality, out of extractive capitalism. And even in 1847, while the British government dithered, while landlords said, we're not going to stop collecting rents because how will we get our money? The fact is that abundance was real. The blight was real, but the famine was manufactured. The abundance was real. The scarcity was the paradigm, though. And we haven't moved that far away as a Western nation in believing that we don't have enough, that we have to hoard what is ours, lest somebody less worthy get it. Those attitudes are so deeply embedded in our culture as Americans. I've heard so many people say over the years of my life, people need to work harder. People need to do something different. You need to budget better. Do this with your food. I pay for that. I deserve more. What do those people think they are doing? Why do those people get a break? Why do those people, any time you find yourself falling into the trap of those people, know you are on the ground of dehumanization and scarcity, that you have inadvertently, I hope inadvertently, stepped into the quagmire that capitalism calls us to believe that there is indeed not enough. And there are alternatives. There is the Choctaw Nation living on seeming barren land in Oklahoma, forced from their traditional homeland, raising enough money to feed somebody else because that is what love called them to do. It is what love is calling all of us to do all the time, which is to reject that there isn't enough and to remember that we are of the earth, and the earth shows us her abundance over and over every day. I coincidentally have ancestors from both the Choctaw Nation and the Irish Nation. And so I think about them a lot. I think about what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, to be a very privileged white woman in America right now who has also in her life known hunger, who was 16 before she knew there were people who didn't know what a food stamp looked like, and who was raised by people whose generosity and abundance was the heart of everything they did. And from the outside, you would look at my family in central Appalachia, living on a gravel road, in a house with no running water, with electricity put together by car parts, and I'm not making that up, and think, ooh, what is wrong with those hillbillies? And I say that because I heard people ask that. Oh, but my people would share their food with anyone. They would share their house with everyone in need. They would find out a kid at school had outgrown their shoes and the folks were struggling, and they would put together a collection and without shame and without blame make sure a kid got their feet warm for winter, got their bellies full. That story of recognizing that we are in mutual, reciprocal relationships, that there is no us or them, there is we right now, and that we all have needs and we can collectively meet it. Those are the abundant gifts that so much of the world can teach us. In her beautiful book, The Serviceberry, I had to actually bring my copy because I love it so much. Robin Wall Kimmerer, who is a Native American scientist, biologist, ecologist, and beautiful writer, talks about abundance and reciprocity in the natural world. and shares in this simple book. I want to buy a copy and give to all of you. Shares notions learned from both nature and her own native Potawatomi peoples about gift economies. And Kilmer acknowledges that we're not getting rid of capitalism anytime soon, but it is not the only model that we have to work within. It's not the only paradigm with which we can interact with one another. Gift economies exist in Native communities, but they exist in small ways for all of us, and we can build on them. A gift economy exists within this congregation every time you fill up that little free food pantry. Every time you come together on Sundays and with abundance share a fellowship hour that I'm telling you is like any I've seen in any other UU church. The gift economy, recognizing, as she says, I know you can't read this, all flourishing is mutual. When you, as Wendy did, Wendy Graves is here somewhere, she might have gone downstairs with the little ones, you bring the bounty from your garden and say, eat these tomatoes. The bunnies are, so you all should too. The gift economy isn't one of obligation, of expectation and payment. It's one where we give of our gifts because we know that we need one another. And yes, we then will be the recipient of a gift at some point. You offer a ride to someone, and then a year later, you need that ride yourself. You make a meal for someone, and then a few months later, someone brings that to you. We take care of each other because we need each other. And because the world shows us over and over again that while competition for resources is real, that scarcity will happen, droughts will happen naturally, floods will happen naturally, crops will fail. That's not the end of the story. Caring for one another, even when tragedy happens, is part of creating a gift economy that recognizes that abundance is real and that our gratitude for all that we have, even when things are terrible, is also real. A gift economy is a way of saying thank you. Thank you, Earth, for the beautiful trees that are showing me what it means to transform. Thank you, beautiful snowflakes that fell this morning and remind me how blessed I am to have a warm home. Thank you, this flame that I have been hearing all morning since they lit it, that reminds me there is fire and warmth available. That I'm so lucky and blessed to have a community that will light a flame to say, we are all holy. The gift economy recognizes, as in the song we heard in the offertory, that everything is holy. There is nothing that is not a miracle on this planet. That any of us are here at all is magic. And because we are here, because everything is holy, then our gratitude can overflow. And sometimes what our gratitude calls us to do is what Adrian Rich said, to work with those with no extraordinary power who will remake the world. It is gratitude that helps us show up, that calls us to show up for the work of justice, for the work of community building. We don't do that out of sadness, out of anger and fear. Those might be present, but it's gratitude. Gratitude for these bodies, for these people, for this earth, for this breath. It's gratitude that will actually keep feeding you to show up again and again for each other. I am grateful this morning for this community. I am grateful for Faith Development and all the volunteers, for the folks we named earlier who are working with our youth. I'm grateful for the folks downstairs right now working with all of those, what did Theo say, disruptive sometimes, those lively children, nurturing them. I'm grateful for everyone in this room. I'm grateful for the music that not only Juan, but so many of you share on a regular basis, pouring out your gifts and your talents. I'm grateful for our Social Action Council. I'm grateful for the racial justice team, for Jim Hannum, who was at the NAACP banquet recently representing our church, that we partner with that organization doing the work of justice. I'm grateful for Pat McClard and his leadership in our shared offering program that helps us give even more to organizations doing the work of justice. I'm grateful for our food justice team and their little free pantry. I'm grateful for Social Action in all of its teams, for the ways in which they are right now serving immigrants and keeping people safe in this community, ways that are so often invisible on a Sunday morning. I am grateful beyond belief that when I say each Sunday we are committed to living our mission, that is not an empty phrase. It is a living, breathing truth, and I am grateful, and I hope that you are too. I am grateful this morning for little Jane, who I think she's 6 or 7, Janet? She's 7 now. Jane made a card, and it says, "For a random person." It's a creative spelling of person, by the way, which I totally appreciate. And she said to Janet, her Nana, "I want to give it to a random person at church today." And they saw me and they gave it to me. And when you open it up, it's a little thing that she made, and it says, "I hope you have a good day." You, random person in this room, hearing me on the internet, there are children, and they are children inside of us, longing to give you a card that says, "Have a good day." The earth is always calling to us, reminding us we are not separate from it, we are of it. We are nature, we are the trees and the air and the cold and the sunlight. And we can be grateful for that, and let that gratitude pull us ever, ever more closely into mutual thriving for each other, for our world. It's not an either-or proposition, you all. We don't get happy and then get grateful. We don't create justice and then peace comes. We do it at the same time. We do the work of justice through our gratitude. We become grateful through the work, and then we show up for each other. And we give each other a card or a smile or a cookie. And we remember that abundance is all around us. We remember that as the Irish were dying, they were also working to keep each other alive. That as the Irish were dying, the Choctaw Nation, which had nearly nothing, gave what they had. And in these days, I am grateful for that history, because it reminds me that we can do no less. Indeed, from our abundance, we can and we will do and be so much more. May it be so, and amen. And because I am so grateful today, it overfills my heart. I hope it does yours. I cannot most days keep from singing, y'all. And so I want you to rise and body your spirit for our closing song, number 108 in the Gray Hymnal, "My Life Flows On," an endless song I cannot keep from singing. carry a song of gratitude in your heart as you move through your days, and may this light shine in you. We'll extinguish our chalice with these words. They're in your order of service and on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Blessed be.